Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Travis. I'm here to help you take great photos with time-lapse photography. Let's roll. Okay, today's topic is depth of field versus depth of feelings. Okay. Now let's start with depth of field. Okay, so what is it? Now, in photography, we talk about depth of field. Basically, imagine this box here as the photograph of what you want to capture. Okay, depth of field is the width of this part here. So if you shoot at f8 or f11, f16, you can see from foreground, so foreground here, middle ground, and background, everything will be in focus. So that's what we call depth of field. So that's how we measure. Okay, so and if we shoot at like very small aperture, okay, we sometimes get shallow depth of field. And there's few way. What you see is shallow depth of field is like the background might be blur, so the background there might be blur. Okay, but depends on what kind of lens you use. So now there's a lot of people out there reckon shallow depth of field is the way to go, but in time-lapse photography, we don't care. We want everything in focus. Imagine I live in Sydney, and imagine you go to the Sydney Opera House and you want to blur the Sydney Opera House. No, that doesn't make sense, right? You pay all that money to travel to Sydney, pay the plane ticket, the hotel, then you do a selfie, all right? You do a selfie. Hey, I like to blur the background of the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It doesn't work that way, right? So most of you guys watching my channel hopefully is new to photography and watching this video here. Let me explain to you. Now there's guys out there that teach you shallow depth of field is the way to go, but I'm here to tell you there's other photography that don't think like that. Like myself, I'm into time-lapse photography, and shallow depth of field I will not use. I'll sometimes use shallow depth of field, but I rarely do it. Yeah, if I take photo of people, yes. Okay, so there's a lot of distraction background, then you want to blur the background so the person stand out. Now for landscape, you want everything in focus. So use this as an example. So you want the foreground, the middle ground, and background to be everything in focus. So imagine 3D, your photo is a 3D. So you have foreground, middle ground, and background. So for landscape, we want everything in focus. Okay. Now there's a new lens coming out from the full frame manufacturer. The one I'm talking about is Sony Master lens, like 50 millimeter f1.2. Okay, it's for shooting people, photographing people, and for filmmaker in dark environment, like in low light. That lens is not for you if you are into landscape photography. Okay, so if you're a landscape shooter like myself, or cityscape shooter, we will not go and buy that kind of lens. If you want to experiment with the focal length, now next thing I'm going to talk about is like focal length as well. How do you determine like how do you shoot that kind of situation like shallow depth of field? 3 factors to determine that: the lens choice, the focal length. So imagine if that's wide angle, everything will be in focus, like the one I'm shooting right now. Everything will be in focus. Fisheye lens or your camera like that is wide angle. Your GoPro or wide angle, so everything is in focus. Okay, now the 50mm is around that size of focal length. Okay, what our eye see basically, what the lens is. Okay, the one I have here is 12 to 35, but it's actually 24 to 70. It's what we call the normal standard zoom lens. This will take 80% of your photography need. So the 50mm is in that range. I'm not suggesting you that you go out and buy a zoom lens. What I'm suggesting to you is think about your choice. What kind of photography are you before you actually spend that kind of money? The G Master is from Sony. Is G Master, yeah. They are the master. Who is the slave? Are you the full frame guy? Yeah. So think about that. You know, the reason why I try to escape the DSLR system because of the lens size and the cost. I have a big telephoto lens in the cupboard right there, and I hardly bring it out anymore. You know, I used to shoot with a Canon 7D, Canon 7D, very heavy lens. One time I took that camera, that two lenses, to a long bushwalk. That's it. After that, I think to myself, this was like before like DSLR mirrors was in the, you know, it's a topic of the day. A lot of guys still shooting DSLR. That's the aim here, but I shoot with mirrorless long time ago. I see the trend long time ago, and you know, do my research and find the right system for me. Because of the lens so light, and it's dirt cheap. Some lens you can play with, you know, it costs you like, you know, $200. So, but if you really into full frame, okay, full frame guy, okay, you gotta pay. Okay, now they charge you $2,000 for a lens. Okay, what else can they charge you? Okay, imagine the cost. Okay, the camera, $3,000. Any Sony camera, full frame, to $3,000, brand new, at least. Canon the same. Nikon, same thing. Any full frame, or Panasonic as well, $3,000 at least for full frame camera. So plus the lens as well. You just need a camera and a lens. That's $5,000 minimum already. $5,000 minimum. Yeah. So, or you want to spend some money to your next destination to photograph something different, something interesting, or you want to spend that money, you know, buying this wonderful lens. Sure, it's wonderful. You can blur the background, beautiful. So what? Those kind of lenses are for professional. So don't go out there and buy the I need to the reviewer out there like raving about this kind of product. I need to go out there and buy this stuff. No, you don't need to. You don't need to. Okay, so that's my take on Sony, you know, f1.2, you know, lens out there for full frame. Too expensive. Sony, too expensive. Canon, too expensive. Yeah. Then again, photography is an art form. An art form. So if you have any lens, any consumer lens, if you know how to take a good photograph, you still can make great photos. You don't have to focus all the time on the bokeh and the shallow depth. Everything gotta be shallow depth of field. Oh no, you gotta pay for it. You gotta pay for it. But there's way you can do that conflict in Photoshop. So yeah, if you know how to do, if you know Photoshop, you can do like shallow depth of field, any photo you want. Nowadays the iPhone, yeah, with the portrait mode, now they get catch on, yeah, they want, yeah, they want to take professional kind of photograph, and they want to have that feature in them as well. So yeah, so understanding depth of field versus depth of feelings. Okay, we're talking about feelings here. Photography is about feelings. Okay, if there's no feeling in the art, what's the point of a good depth of field? I need a depth of field, man. I need a depth of field. Shallow depth of field in my photograph. Come on. I want to see your depth of feelings. You know, what can you portray that photograph to me? Or photographs like I do, photographs in a sequence. A photograph, let's call it time-lapse video, right? So with kit lens, like with a $700 camera, with kit lens, you can do time-lapse photography compared to 2000 just to get a lens. Yeah, so there's another reason why I want you guys to get hooked with time-lapse photography. Okay, this is Travis here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time with another rant if you want to. The tutorial. Leave a comment. You don't like my comment, you true rant guy. Yeah, what the fuck? What the F? What the F? Come on. Show me your feelings, brother. Feelings. Like, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.